Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Polar Mustang here, and today I have some very exciting news for the One Piece card game. This is going to be very important news when it comes to competitive players, but also people who are looking to get into the competitive scene. But even if you're somewhat of an investor, this is definitely important news for a lot of stuff going forward. So, a bunch of news just came out for the One Piece card game. If you hit the news tab, it'll take you to right here, and we're going to discuss some of the important news that just came out because it's going to be shaping a big aspect of the game going forward. So first off, I want to thank everyone for playing the game, and we're going to be working on simultaneous release. So simultaneous release is something they're working towards to happen this year. Who knows, if it might get delayed or whatnot, but the goal is to have simultaneous release, I believe, by them for sure before World Championship Finals, March 2027. So what is World Championship Finals? So if you haven't been playing the One Piece card game for a long time, you might understand that there's a very cyclical nature to the card game. And so I kind of want to touch upon that cycle now because the cycle is going to start for the new season. We are wrapping up 25-26 championship and we're about to start 26-27. The 25-26 World Championship is going to happen in about 2 months or so. And we will then be preparing for the next World Finals, which will be take place a whole year. So throughout that year, for depending on your region, you're going to have a regional slash and or inclusive or, speaking store championship, and that will qualify you to a finals or a national tournament. That's for North America and EU. For Oceania and LATAM, it'll be just a regional, so no store champ. And then you're going to have some type of finals. And then I believe for LATAM and Oceania, the winners from season 1 and 2 will face off. It might not be like that anymore, but regardless, for me and anyone who's in the EU, you'll be earning some type of invite to this tournament. And then so people will get some invites at season 1 in the summer, at season 2 in the winter. Some people will get some invites here, and then some people will get some invites to Japan separately. And then all these players will meet at the World Championship in March. So pretty much the build up to March in 2027 is going to be from now till March. People from all around the world are going to be trying to earn invites to tournaments where they can get an invite to Worlds or earn an invite to Worlds. So it's a big part of it is simultaneous release. Important thing to know is that tournament pricing will be made the same for each region. So we're going to be go over some pricing in this video, and it seems like Japan and America and EU and LATAM will all get the same pricing for this new season of One Piece competitive, which is pretty interesting. It's some pricing will be available at the same time as in Japan. Some pricing may be even available earlier, which is very exciting. If you've been playing this game for a while, you're familiar with Japan getting pricing before us. A good example is there's a serial Nami card that is out in Japan that we don't have. So looking forward, we'll talk more about this side of things, but coming up, so North America, EU, will be a store championship, which is pretty much a tournament held at local, but to be very serious, there's going to be a judge there. People are going to be playing their butts off, and people will be able to earn an invite there to the area finals, which is what I would consider the national tournament, the Nats for your region, whether it be EU, NA, etc. And then if you place well enough at the Nats, you will get the top players will be invited to participate in the World Championship. Something interesting is I don't think they've broken down yet the how many invites are going to be getting out. Normally the World Championship is 32 players. It might be 64, so who knows? For LATAM, there'll be regionals, and then there'll be a finals. The winner of final season 1 will battle the winner of final season 2, and the winner will be able to participate in the World Championship. So it's probably going to be just 32 players. Something to note here is that store championships and regionals are separate. Both are just two different ways you can earn an invite to the area finals. And for NA and U, there's going to be two different area finals. So you can go to the area finals in summer or winter or both. And if you are a top player in one of the two, you will have an invite here, which is awesome. So something that's very interesting is that this will be the top 8 prize card for all regionals across all regions, which is pretty exciting. I'd say this is going to be among some of the most expensive cards in the entire game. It being not only Luffy in a cereal, but Gear 5. There's only one other Luffy cereal, and it's arguably the most expensive card in the game, barring like a world's first place card, something like that, right? But regardless, this card is gonna have some obscene value. This is also a very, very strong EBO4 SEC. Now, this is gonna be the top 8 for all regionals for the entire year, and it says not only during season 1 but the whole year. So we'll be getting this from for all of 2026 for top 8 at regionals. It's important to note that this won't be at store championships, but that's okay. So tournaments and side events. Um, so there will no longer be online tournaments. So if you're a familiar player who's been playing a while, you've played in like maybe online treasure cups or online regionals, there'll be no way to earn a invite at any online tournaments, and there'll no longer be online treasure cups. Treasure cups will be events which are previously held online. They'll be exclusively offline and will primarily take place as side events at regionals, which is something we'll get into in a little bit. We'll talk more about that. We're going to go over standard rules, and the standard rules um, is gonna be adopting the block system. So the new season standard regulation will permit cards with block 2 icons or higher. So they'll be banning all block 1 cards. So for standard regulation, which is the competitive format used for all of this. All these tournaments are standard regulation, and so block 1 cards will be phased out, which is what we already knew. But what's new is we're going to be getting an extra regulation. This will be a format starting in April. So the block icon system will take place in April. So in April, we will, in standard, you will no longer be able to play the block 1 cards, but at the same time, they will introduce extra regulation, which is a new format, and they're going to have tournaments that are called Extra Grand Battle. What's interesting here is that they're planned to be held at local game stores, finals, and regionals as a side event. So what this means is that stores might have tournaments where you could win a cereal, which has never been a thing before to my knowledge. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens with this Yamato cereal. It seems like it's exclusive to these extra grand battles. Pretty important because going forward for standard regulation, people weren't sure how committed people would be to the extra format where you could play older cards. But if there's a good pricing like this Yamato, then I think a lot of people will play it. So this is a special preview of the Season 1 prize cards, which will be held at stores from May 2026. So mark your calendar now. In May, we should be getting some type of store tournament that will be extra grand battle format. Excuse me. And this will be a prizing there, which is insane to think about. Now, this extra grand battle, it will basically be the exact same as standard regulation, the exact same game, exact same rules, exact same ban lists. Okay, I'm going to talk about this, but it's important to know these will have the same ban lists. The only thing that will be different between them for now is that extra regulation will be able to use block 1 cards and standard won't. So we'll talk about that right now. So banned cards. From April 21st, banned cards, banned pair, restricted cards will be used within both standard and extra regulation. So this is saying they will have the same ban lists. This means a card banned based on the situation in standard regulation events will also be banned within extra regulation events. But since extra regulation can use block 1, we'd like to introduce block 1 cards which will no longer be banned from April 1st. So what does this mean? It's kind of complicated. What this means for the normal competitive tournament, right, like a regional, on April 1st, block 1 cards will be no longer permitted to use. On April 1st, extra regulation will be invented and you can use block 1 cards. Also on April 1st, they're going to unban these 4 cards, which means you will never be able to use them in a standard regulation because these are all block 1, but these cards will be able to be used in extra regulation. So all this means is they are unbanning just these 4 cards just for the sake of simplifying our statement. These 4 cards will get unbanned just for extra regulation when extra regulation comes out. So the 4 cards are Great Eruption, uh, draw 1, give -2. We're going to get Moby Dick, which is a stage. I believe it's rest it and give +2k to all Whitebeard Pirates. Or it's just, you don't even have to rest it, it's just constant, which is awesome. Ennie's Lobby, which is a really strong stage. You may rest a stage, feel your CP. give -2 cost, so it's a free -2 cost every turn with a really good trigger. And Ice Age, which is -5 cost for 1 Dawn. So these cards will get unbanned. So I would look into getting these cards now. I've even pulled up Ice Age. This is the price at the time of recording this video. Record this video as soon as possible. This was just announced. The website was just updated right now in the middle of the night at 3:30 or 3 a.m. So if you see this video, check on the price of Ice Age. It's probably going to go up today. So as April 1st, the ban on these cards will be lifted for events using extra regulation format. Going forward, we plan to review ban restriction cards that are removed from standard regulation. So basically going forward, every time the block rotation changes, like at some point in 2027, we'll lose block 2 cards. Um, they'll look into unbanning some block 2 cards for extra regulation. So extra regulation is going to be its whole new own format, which people should get invested in. That means hold on to your older cards, old leaders, etc., and we'll see where that is going to go going forward. Pretty exciting stuff when it comes to pricing, when it comes to locals. It's clear that there's going to be some type of extra Grand Battle season locals in May. And they also said that these extra Grand Battle tournaments are going to be at side events at regionals. So what's really cool is now you're going to get more bang for your buck when you go to a regional because let's just pull up regionals right now. Um, it's not listed here, but for side events, there'll be a treasure cup and there will be a extra grand battle event, and both will have very exciting cards to win. So here's what I mean by that. So treasure cups, which used to be online, are no longer online, but they've made it clear they're going to be side events. How do I know? If we look here, Alibaba on March 21st, 2026, in Bonn, Germany, we have Alibaba March 22nd in Bonn, Germany. So on day 2 of this regional, they're going to be holding the Treasure Cup, which is pretty much uh, day 1 is going to be the traditional tournament, maybe 10 or 9 rounds, usually. And then day 2, there should be a top cut where after those 9 rounds, the top 32 players are going to move on to start a brand new tournament on day 2, on the 22nd. Now, for everyone who didn't make it into that tournament, you're going to be able to play in a treasure cup, but there's also going to be a ton of side events. And it looks like there's going to be extra grand battle tournaments where you can win some awesome prizing. To me, this is really good because a lot of people are complaining that traveling is really difficult. But now, if you make it to an event like this Alibaba, well, let's say in the future, like in May or something, these tournaments are going to have a lot of stuff to do there, and they're not going to be 1 day tournaments, it seems like, going forward. Like I went to Pasadena in December, it was just a 1 day tournament. Pretty small, not a whole lot going on, not a lot to do if you didn't get in the tournament, but it seems like there's a lot to look forward to, even if you don't make it into the tournament. So you're going to be able to apply for the Treasure Cup, and this Treasure Cup is going to have awesome prizing on its own. It's going to have a really nice Zoro cereal. It's also going to have a ace. I've seen these cards. I can pull up the images. But these are some really nice looking cards for the Treasure Cup, etc. So yeah, there's going to be a whole lot going on at regionals. Now for NA region, we don't have any announced, so it seems like there won't be any regionals in March. But I would assume we're going to get some announcements for April or something like that pretty soon. So yeah, so regionals, top 8, we will be getting this Monkey D. Luffy cereal card. It looks like these sleeves are going to be prominent. We're still going to be rocking the Black Gold Dawn. And then now we have the other thing talking about. Event Pack Volume 8 has been revealed to be the 4 Emperor promos we're missing. This is very exciting. If I had to bet money, I would say we're going to get a version of these at the national tournaments. So these would be, let me just click the news. The development team layer at the season 1 finals tournaments and the season 2 finals tournaments. I would imagine we're going to get a version of these cards with extra foiling and a championship stamp on it, like usual. So that's also cool. We'll get some expensive Luffy cards again. But yeah, this would be the Event Pack Volume 8. This is really cool because a lot of people wanted these promos. This Blackbeard and the Shanks are situationally decent, and I could see maybe 1 day having some shine in the light. The Shanks probably more than the Blackbeard, but either way, it's cool that we're getting cards that we're missing, some promos. And so yeah, this is all the information I have for regionals going forward. But what's nice to know is we're going to have store championships in April. So they're going to be going from April 33rd to the 30th. So for the whole month of April, they're going to be only North American EU, and you're going to be able to earn an invite here. So store championships will be 32 or 64 person. Some selected stores will be offered events for more than 64. This is new. It's no top cut as usual. This is new. And I would imagine potentially the Bandai stores might be the store selected, or very, very big known stores like Core TCG or something like that. What's exciting about those, well, we'll get there when we get there about this more than 64 players. But so it's going to be from April 3rd to the 30th. Stores, so your local game stores, your LGS, they need to apply starting tomorrow, the time of this video, and they have till February 15th to apply to be a host for their store championship. So this is for NA and EU. Stores will find out in February, pretty much to the end of February, if they were selected. Then players, I believe, if you're familiar with distributor rankings, gold stores or higher probably have a really good chance. And then players on the Bandai app will be applying on March 15th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. GMT, +0. I believe these are all the same time. It's first come, first served, which is very interesting. I'm used to these being lottery. This is actually new. If I could pull up the previous store championship, let me see if I could pull it up right now. Store championship 2025 One Piece September. I could show you right now. It said player application period August. Players will be selected by a lottery if the number of applicants exceeds event capacity. What does this mean? Usually, if a store, let's say the closest store to you, let's say LGS number one, right? Let's say they're hosting a store championship, and let's say signups go live right at this time, 5 p.m. Pacific. You live in California. At 5 p.m., you apply. Let's say by March 18th, 100 people have applied, but there's only going to be 64 people at the tournament. How are they going to select who gets to participate? Usually, last year was through a lottery. But this year will be first come, first serve, which means right at this time, this 5 p.m. time, is very crucial if you want to participate in store championships that you apply on time. I would imagine if people realize, I mean, I'm sure not a lot of people are going to watch this video, but if people do realize it's first come, first serve this time for it seems like all the tournaments, then it's going to be a race to apply. Maybe at that time exactly. Also, something that's interesting. Okay, the time was here last time, the application time. So that's interesting. I believe if you're interested in playing at a Bandai store, they always do lottery method for every tournament, regardless of this. But anyway, don't want to harp on that too much. So the pricing, you're going to get 3 packs for participation, which is awesome. I played in the store championships this year, and I actually won one. And the 3 packs for participation uh, were given from Bandai, which is really cool because there's nothing shady going on, but they're also blisters, which if you opened a blister before, it's much different than a loose pack, and they have really good odds usually. So just a little bonus. So I would assume these are going to be blisters handed out from Bandai for the tournament. Top 8, no matter what the size tournament, you're going to get these nice Usopp sleeves. I have some from Japan of my own, which are really awesome. You're going to get this event pack with the 4 Emperors for top 8. If you make it to top 4, you're going to get an extra event pack. And you're also going to get an invite. There's an asterisk here. Top 4 will only get an invite if the tournament has between 48 and 64 people playing. Top 2 will get a regional finalist card set. So what that means, there'll be a new set of cards, probably not these cards, and they'll be considered the regionals finals cards. I could show you an example right here. Let's look at Kid and Killer. So these were the, let's set it to red. Okay, so you would get an offline participation version of Kid and Killer from an event, from like some type of event pack, right? Or an offline regional pack. The finalist card set, here I'll be, I might need to do this a little bit. Let's see. Let's see how easy I can make this. Let's go to events. Uh, East Regional 2025. So this offline far place to scroll. You're gonna get this offline regional finals card set. So there's gonna be a set of 4 cards. The finals version will look like just the normal version. We'll have this extra finalist stamp, which just means it's a little bit more expensive. For comparison, the offline regional version's $15, and the finals version is this is the online one. The offline one, if I can find you here, is $70. If you are wondering why that's less expensive, there are more of these than there are of these. Regardless, kind of overdoing it, but you are going to get a finalist. You're going to get like 4 finalist cards, which is nice. Only second place will get this. First place will get a very unique top 16 alt card. So usually whatever the alt card is for the season, which I'm pretty sure it is this, yeah. So the first place will get when these regionals happen, whatever 16th place gets, which is it's not announced yet. But this card for a top 16, you'll also get it if you get first place. Now, so the breakdown. If the tournament for some reason has 23 participants, only first place will get an invite. But if it's like a normal tournament with like 32 people in that range, 24 and 47, first and second place will get an invite. If it's 64 people tournament, between 40 and 64, 4 people will get an invite. The reason I'm saying 64, when stores apply, depending on, I don't know how Bandai picks it, but they're going to dedicate your store to be a capacity 32 or capacity 64. What that means is like you're limited, you're capped out at 32 some stores. So some stores, when they hold tournament, they will only give out 2 invites no matter what happens. And some stores are going to be a 64-person tournament, so they'll only have 4 invites. And then some special stores this time around are going to be 65 plus, and top 8 will get an invite, which is pretty awesome, I would say, for people that want invites. For a believer of like invite inflation, then you're not a fan of that. But I'm curious to see what these plus 65 tournaments are gonna be like. I would imagine getting top 8 won't be as hard as winning one, so that's cool. So store championships are gonna happen in April. For April 3rd, we're gonna be applying in March, which is cool. We're gonna have a whole set of regionals. These regionals are going to have a Luffy cereal for the rest of the year in all regions. And we're going to get an unlimited format with no block icon when block icon comes out. And it seems like that's going to have beefed up pricing too. And stores will get that pricing. So a bunch of exciting news, even for these like unbanned cards or future unbanned cards for the extra format, going to be like Ice Age. So, you cannot add to cart. Okay, let's see. Oh, you cannot add to cart. All right, so let's add these to cart. Let's see what we can. Okay. Okay, so they're getting bought out. They're getting bought out as we speak. I imagine a lot of people are finding out. Oh, wow. So in real time, this is when I added to my cart. I hit refresh. Oh, in real time, it's getting bought out. I'm so sorry. Wow. Can we add? That's G-Line Collectibles. Let's hit a little refresh. We can add. Oh, ho, ho, ho. By the time I hit upload, this might be a $20 card. I think people are going to rush to the hills to buy this. Anyway, that's all I got to say for this video. If you enjoyed watching, please subscribe. Hopefully, this was informative. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. And that's all I got to say for the video. Thanks for watching.